Did you know that flood maps aren't always as they seem? A lot of people think the solar disclosure statement that came in last year has flooding on it, which it actually doesn't, which is terrifying on so many levels. But what's really interesting is the Brisbane City Council mapping tool doesn't actually always show the real truth. So if you look at the mapping tool, there's different layers that you can show, both from 74, which is the flood for the younger people watching this video that we had back in 74, and then 2011, which I went through, and then 22, which we also went through. But what's fascinating is that there can be flooding where it might not actually be on the map, but also it can show that something's on the flood map, but it never flooded. So if you actually take off the council overlays as a likelihood, you can actually see if it ever did flood. And there's a lot of properties where it's never flooded before, but they're now on the council flood map. Now, it's important to be aware that's because they predict or they think it could happen. So we're not saying to discount that. But at the same time, I've always said the best flooding mapping service or awareness service ever is Mavis. Now, what I mean by Mavis is if you find the little old lady in any street and you go, hey Mavis, ever seen any flooding here? She'll pull up whatever phone she's got. She'll go, oh, back in 74 it flooded, and then back in 2014 it flooded. And it is fascinating how many areas have flooded through flash flooding that aren't on the map. And I could think of 3 or 4 that are still not on the flood map that have actually flash flooded, particularly in 2014. We had a really big storm then, and I know of at least 3 or 4 streets in Aspley and Wavell Heights that flooded that are not on the flood map from then. Really important that you do your due diligence, but check that flood map. And if you're not sure, give us a call. But as I said, the Mavis, the Beryl, the Ethel, the oldest lady in the street, she will tell you everything that's happened in the last 50 years, and she's the best service because back in 74, they didn't come out to Zilmere to check the flooding. They couldn't get out here. Fascinating what actually did flood and you're not aware, but also the council's done a lot of reticulation work over the years as well. I was fascinated that Cannery Creek used to flood across Nudgee Road that deep, and in 22, it didn't get anywhere near that because of the reticulation and the creek widening they've done. So there has been some improvements as well. It's not always the case, but if in doubt, find the little lady in the street and she'll give you the most accurate idea.